So, Lauri, you've talked about internet and how, the role of internet has sort of transformed over the ages, and now it keeps growing. Technology has only grown by leaps and bounds. So, in light of this digital penetration, be it smartphone or internet, and there's a simultaneous or a corresponding increase or proliferation of platforms that sort of host unauthorized content. So, in light of these, what do you think are the challenges that are faced by rights holders globally when it comes to enforcing their rights?
Right. Well, there are a number of challenges, but I come back to what I just mentioned. One of the challenges we still see in a number of jurisdictions is that the rules governing the liability of at least certain types of online services aren't necessarily clear enough. So there is space to, if you will, to improve and develop the legal liability framework. And we are seeing definitely movements towards that. And again, in Europe, we have seen important developments in that respect, both in case law by the European Court as well as the legislators. There's more and more debate around these issues in other jurisdictions as well, including the United States and elsewhere. So that's kind of the first point. But the other point, which is really important, is then what is happening in terms of the right owners or the authorities' ability to enforce the rules that are in place. And one of the big challenges we are seeing is that very often the unauthorized services and the operators, they locate in jurisdictions where enforcement either is lax or in some cases even impossible. And that means that in order to ensure that consumers in your own country don't unwittingly or otherwise access unauthorized services, that there are tools for the right owners to ensure that access to such illegal services offered from outside your country is restricted. And then, in very concrete terms, measures, procedures like websites or injunctions against access providers that ensure that they don't enable access to these services. So that's an important, legislative tool. So it's, on the other hand, sort of policy action in terms of crafting the liability rules so that they work, and on the other hand, ensuring that right owners and authorities have the enforcement tools and measures in place. And there, obviously, there are, as said, the kind of tools such as non-fault injunctions against third parties whose services are used by the illegal services. So that's an important tool. But at the same time also then, if you will, more robust obligations, responsibilities for the key services, again, used by the unauthorized services. And here I refer to some obligations which are already, if you will, par for the course in other sectors, such as know your business customer, and the obligation or the right of right owners to seek information about the identity of the operators and so forth.